Hello, my name is Brittany Goldsby, and if you're sitting in front of this pre-sketch canvas or one with a similar design, then I'd first like to thank you for supporting B. Michelle Artistry by attending a party with one of my featured designs. This video tutorial is going to be for you to give you some options on how you can finish your piece. Of course, the creative license is all yours to do with it what you will, but feel free to follow along with me in this video to complete the piece. Now, to complete the piece my way, you're only going to need 3 colors to get it done. The entire female figure and the pole, however your design is set up, that's going to be all black. We're trying to create a shadowed silhouette figure of the lady here. So that's going to be all blacked out. But, of course, we're going to use a separate color for the background, and we're going to need a little bit of white in order to lighten whatever shade you choose for the background around the upper part of her body, especially close around her head, to give it kind of like a spotlight ombre effect. So if you're following along with me to complete the piece, then pick out your 3 colors. You're going to need black to have that silhouette figure look, and we're going to need whatever color you're choosing to use for your background, and a little bit of white in order to lighten that shade, to give it that effect in the middle. Now, I recommend that you not choose a very dark solid color for your background so that that shadow black silhouette figure just pops out from it. So I am going to go with kind of a magenta, pink, red color, and I'm going to get my white so that I can light it up in the middle. Go ahead and get your colors ready, get your drinks ready, get your cup of water ready, because whenever your brushes are not in use, it's very important that after you use a brush, you put it directly into the water in order to keep the paint from drying on the brush and ruining it. So get your setup ready, and then we'll begin with the background first. All right, so I've got my background colors together. I've got the darker original shade, the slightly lighter one, and then the much lighter version where I mixed in more white in order to create that effect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my lightest color and use that in the middle and work my way to the outer parameters, and it's going to get darker as it goes. And the key to doing an ombre that doesn't look like stripes instead is to, before you transition into the next shade, as I showed you, I have 3 distinct shades, is to mix in the 2 colors that are closest to each other where they meet in the middle, so that it's not such a harsh contrast. Now I'm going to start dead center. Depending on what kind of shade you're using, it may be still pretty easy to see your sharpied outline from that point. As you can see, it is still peeking through here, but if it doesn't do that for you, then you may have to go ahead and redraw your figure. If you choose a lighter shade and don't go so heavy, you should be able to see through it. So I'm going to make my lightest inner part circular, because like I said, I'm going for like a spotlight effect in this part of the background. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Now I want to capture full body, but just most of her. This upper part. Circular figure. And then I'm about to transition into another shade of this same color. Except before I go all the way to that shade, I'm going to first fill in any gaps as it starts to dry. As you work your way around this part, you may start to notice that you need a second coat in some areas. So let it start to dry and check around for that. You can just go back over it. It's easier to go back over it after it has had some time to dry, so you're not just dragging the paint around. So now I'm going to mix my current shade with the next shade so that as I transition to it, it is more subtle. And you want to do this ombre type of effect while the paint is still wet. If you let it start to dry too much, then the colors won't blend together. There'll be a harsh kind of separation between them that you'll be able to see probably more clearly than you want to. So my next color is coming in. I'm picking up where that circle edge left off, and I'm just extending the circle, this time with a darker shade. Drag your brush over those edges where the two shades of paint meet to just blend it in a little bit more, make it more seamless. Now I'm going to go on to darker version of that shade. All right, now after your piece dries, you'll be able to see the colors gradually change as you get to the center into a lighter shade. And now all we need is black. We're going to fill in the entire pole and the entire female figure with the color black. I recommend using 2 brushes, maybe one a little wider so that you can fill in those big spaces quickly, but then a very fine pointed one so that you can carefully trace inside the outline for the facial features, for the fine points of the high heel and the hands and the hair and things like that. So let's work on that middle portion together, filling it in with black. Now, since we don't want any of the background color to shine through, to show through, then this may take us a coat or 2. As I stated before, the best way to make sure you're fully covering with a color is to let it dry some. And then when you see those streaks, like right now I have some pink streaks showing through the black, you can go back over that with another coat and fill it in the rest of the way. So right now I'm working with my big brush to just go ahead and fill those large spaces within the body. I might use a 3rd brush, something with a nice sharp straight edge, so that when I fill in that pole, I can do better to stay inside of the lines. So this is all black. This is going to be a shadowy silhouette here, so all black. If you make any stray marks, you can clean it up after the fact. You can go back in with your background color. Hopefully you got a little bit left of that. If not, you can get some more. And you'll take a very small brush and just clean up those parts. Go back over those parts with your background color to cover up any strays with the black. All right, let's keep working with different size brushes until we fill in the complete shape of the pole and the figure. All right, by now I have filled in the entire female figure and the pole with the black silhouette effect. There are some stray marks though. I've got little points right here, and I've got places where I want to make the lines of the pole a lot straighter, smooth out some of the edges around the body, redefine some of the body parts like the arm and the hand. And what I'm gonna use are my 3 to 4 background colors for that. The darker for those outer sides, and then lighter as I get closer to the middle. I'm going to mix my color with white in order to achieve those shades again. But if you have some left over that's still wet you can use, that's even better. So after this, just clean up any stray marks that you want to. Sign your piece. I like to go ahead and paint the edges of the canvas all the way around as well to give it a more finished look. And that's a wrap on that. So thank you for joining me in this tutorial. Thank you for attending a paint party with some of my featured designs. My Instagram handle for my art page is B.Michelle, MICHELLE, art. You can find me on Instagram there, and we can connect for you to buy some original pieces or for me to bring one of your original designs to life through a commission piece. And I'd love to create more pre-sketched canvases or even host a paint party for you. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Bye-bye.